More than I need to get 4 year glasses. That's what we're doing. Why we are because our partner can't close anymore, so they look blurry. Your sweater. You did? Wow. We can dream, right? Yeah. Well, I know how. I made my own wedding dress. And I made all the bridesmaids' dresses and the flower dresses, but that's the last time I really technically sewn. Well, my sister Gina, she actually is a seamstress and a clothing designer, and she promised me she would get my wedding dress, and she got pregnant with her second child. She said, yeah, I can still do it. But then, so then I was stuck. I had the material, I had everything. I'm like, well, that's true. 7th grade sewing, I hope you kick it. She was going to do everything. No. She did help my mom. Yeah, not the big flowers. She did like he should. But yeah, I sewed everything. Well, patterns. Here we go.
Thank you. Oh, God, good save.
So they had
Good thing you practice your two-step, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I was so upset. If you guys have a really nice,
I don't know why.
I had to just dig in and make myself. It's okay, 7th grade still. Come back. Come on. You know? My mom bought it. Make an announcement.
How are you?
We need some lamps for
So I have a picture, which was fortunate.
and even the detergent.
They were all good. I couldn't see what was on.
I'll take this.
Yeah, no problem.
Right next door, real quick, I'll be right back.
I would say something's happening with my equilibrium. Take that up with me.
Is it okay? You know, like halfway through, you know, yes.
That was so really about feel somewhere. Feels like Starting December, and you're still going in February.
Money's not here.
She's 68.
She is. Did she move?
Yeah. She got really stressed about moving.
Oh, okay. Because I have a box of stuff for her. I can bring it here or just keep it in my car or something. For her. Bowls, cups and stuff. I understand she doesn't have any of that stuff. And I was getting rid of all these things. I had them already packed up. Because I was taking them, my Julie's going to have a yard sale. I said, I'm going to just get rid of all these. I thought, now I know where exactly to take them. Perfect. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't like that there.
Now, remember, we're going to the party on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
To the dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Queen Mary.
Yeah, right.
I thought we're always free in our minds and in our hearts. We're always free. Nobody can mess with how we think. They can try. They can, There you go. Good job.
Just waiting for Janelle. Do you have a pencil back here? I have a box of stuff for her. I have a box of stuff for her. But I was telling, I was going to
No matter where you're going, there's a risk for you to take. Comfort in the knowing that if you come to stay a while, or just passing through this door, it is open to you. Come, let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you, the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? Nice to see all of you. I'm Reverend Tracy and delighted to have all of you here. Taking a breath. I don't know about you, but I had to do a little rushing to get here today. But they told me you'd wait for me. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, we're here now, and all we have is now, so I guess we're okay, right? Right. So we have a great morning this morning. Our practitioner on platform is the lovely practitioner emeritus, Miss Diane Clemens. She'll do a reading for us, do an opening invocation, get us all centered, and then we have some fabulous music. We've got Jeff, of course, and he'll be accompanying Janelle Rapp. So welcome back, Janelle. And I want to say hi to our friends online. There are lots of folks that watch us from afar. We're happy that you are here with us in spirit. And this is a spirit of love and community and support. And how good is that? So we will start with a song. I'm going to invite you all to stand, and we're going to sing Spirit is in This Place.
Come with arms
taking all that energy, that music, the way music just touches and opens us up. Let's take a moment, take a breath, close your eyes, and carry that joy into the heart space. Breathing in and reminding ourselves of that spark within which is never extinguished. Letting yourself remember that here in this place, you and I and Spirit are one.
And as we settle into this peaceful presence, let us give grateful thanks for our beautiful spiritual center, for the freedom to worship and learn and fellowship with our friends. We are grateful for our ministers, for our musicians, for our practitioners, our sound crew, and all the volunteers that put this service together for us. Today, we open our hearts and our minds for the message that will be given, knowing that what is said will resonate within us and inspire us. We are in our perfect right place today to receive that which we seek. And so it is. And our reading is taken from our founder, Ernest Holmes. He says, I contemplate the presence and pray without ceasing. That's from Thessalonians. Try saying that 3 times fast. It doesn't matter what we call it, so long as we remember that there is a secret place of the Most High within us, and that we may consciously enter it by merely knowing that we are already there. This is the place where the universe meets us in its wholeness without any restriction whatsoever. This is the place where the All delivers everything that it is to us. Anything that helps you enter here is good. If you say prayers, good. If you make affirmation, good. If you repeat beautiful passages, or you just sit in the quiet contemplation of your thoughts, realizing the presence of life, you will do well. For all those methods lead to the conclusion that the power exists and it is available. All of life, all of health, all of love, all peace exist in this one power. Our loneliness, our sense of isolation, our poverty, our doubt, our sickness are simply results of being disconnected in the consciousness of this divine. So let go of every inharmonious, limiting thought. Quietly turn within and acknowledge the inner presence of your own being. Beautiful, uplifting feelings of harmony and peace will flow through you like a river, elevating your consciousness to a new and higher level of acceptance and unity. That Ernest had it together, didn't he?
Ernest had it together doesn't mean I do. I'm trying. So in 1994, 95, I wrote this song, and my band, which was called Clementine Street Band, they used to perform this with me back in those days, and I haven't performed it for a very long time, but it called to me a couple of weeks ago, and it's called The Way of Love. Martin Luther King, could you lend me your wings so I can fly with your courage for just one day, just to stand straight and tall and walk through the walls of hatred and anger and not be changed, and say the way of love is not the easy way. The way of love
is not the easy way. The way of love is not the easy way, but it's a way I need to know. Mother Teresa, could you fill me with compassion till I find out the difference between want and need? I've seen you walking through the masses like an army of mothers whose only child must have the last bite to eat, and say the way of love is not the easy way. The way of love is not the easy way. The way of love is not the easy way, but it's the way I choose to know. Jesus Christ, they say he sacrificed all that he was for his people. And though they spit on him, he bore their sin. All for the way of love. All for the way of love. All for the way of love. And say the way of love is not the easy way. The way of love, it's not the easy way. The way of love is not the easy way, but it's the way I need to. It's the way I choose to. It's the way I want to know. It's the way, the way, the way, the way of love. It's the way I need to know.
Perfect. Just perfect. So today we are still in the season of nonviolence, and those of you that haven't done your shopping yet, let me remind you that this week is Valentine's Day. Someone may be depending upon you for sweet things. And whether that's candy or flowers or just a hug, I light the candle today for love. And I offer you this short writing from Carrie Newcomer. She says, "Let us joyously relate and remind one another of what we love, and be encouraged by all the love that is swirling around us, within us, and between us, even now. Yes, even now." So that was a perfect song. Thank you. Our theme this month is embracing the edge. We're talking about that sort of circle that surrounds us of what we know, and then what scary things lie beyond that, the unknown, and how to cross that threshold consciously, how to expand our perspective and experience of life. And last week we talked about the inner edge, those things that we say or do that actually hold us back rather than inviting us forward, and how to step through those. And today we talk a little bit more about how the edge of life is where we walk when we are out in the world. So bringing that inner sense of knowing into how we show up is really the heart and purpose of doing our own inner work. I mean, it's great that we focus on ourselves. We know we have to clean up inside in order to show up outside in a good way. But sometimes we forget to show up outside. Sometimes we get so involved in what we're doing within that we just as soon stay in our house with the door closed and the blinds drawn and watching reruns on MeTV. You know you do. You know you do. But not every day. So some days we do venture out, and what we want to do is venture out wholeheartedly. We want to be able to bring who we are into the world and have a positive impact. And the truth is, we have an impact on the world whether we're aware of it or not. So why not choose to be conscious? Why not? And there is an edge, a threshold between our private beliefs and our public action, right? Sometimes we find a lot of comfort in our spiritual understanding. We come here, we study, we take classes, we read good books, we listen to positive music, we do all these things, but there are times when we hesitate to bring what we know spiritually into a visible action, into a visible statement, something that people can recognize us by. And so this week we're talking about how to step over that threshold, how to let what we know inside guide what we do and say out in the world. That means we have to live beyond our comfort level, right? Because where are we most comfortable? In our routines, in our habits, with the same people, in the same places, the same social media spaces, the same venues that we go to. We know where the grocery store is. We know where the school is. That serves a purpose as a foundation, but it's never meant to be our entire world. Because the truth is, we are part of something larger, not just spiritually, but also socially. And how to interact with that social space in a way that allows us to be part of what brings healing, rather than part of any issue that we see out there. Holmes urges us to live our truth beyond comfort, which means to look past our fear of misunderstanding or rejection, and I would say, or judgment, and to act as a friend to the whole world. That takes courage. It takes courage to hold goodwill and love in situations where frustration or fear or anger might otherwise lead. If we're going to walk the edge of life, going to walk at that threshold, come up to that threshold, we have to practice seeing good where it isn't obvious and living from that realm anyway. Right? So this week we're talking about this edge, and it's important to remember that the edge is not where faith ends, it's where faith is made visible. So we have to trust that who we are in the world shows up as the trust that we have in the spiritual truth, the spiritual law of life. So I want to ask you, what does it look like for you to show up as your true self in the world? Like, where do you think you might have shown up better? Where do you think you should have shown up honestly, and instead you hesitated, or you kept quiet, or you retreated? What situations show up for you that maybe you pull back from initially? Anybody? Anything? My kids. Okay. Confrontation. Yeah. Anything else? Where do you hesitate? Where do you not say something? Okay, talking about it's probably, that's probably true for everybody. I see a lot of this. Right? Maybe it's not going along with the joke, whatever the joke is, right? Because it's not a joke. What about being confronted with rudeness? Yes, Susie. Staying in your own lane, so not speaking outside of yours. We do that a lot with our roles. You know, I'm a minister, so I have a lane. You're a teacher, you're a mother, you're a father, you're a worker. You stay in your own lane. And yet, humanity is humanity. Injustice is injustice. You know, fear is fear, no matter where we are, who we are. So where have you shown up differently? Where have you been brave and said something or done something outside of what was happening around you? Yeah. No King's Day March. Come on, I know more of you are brave. Yes, Mickey.
Somebody said something very rude, and instead of just, they didn't mean it. I just said, I'm sorry, I don't understood what you said. Would you please repeat what you just said? And they said, I didn't mean it that way. And then all of a sudden, we had a conversation about how did you mean it?
Yes.
And it kind of got resolved. Otherwise, I would have gone off with bad feelings about her, and there was no need for it.
Had you not said something, it would have meant something totally different. Yes.
Right.
And it is easier to stay silent sometimes. It is easier to just be shocked and retreat and then wonder forever, what did she mean by that? Why were we fighting? How did that happen? Right? So anytime you can respond with kindness to rudeness, anytime you can be clear and direct instead of just going along with the group is off on some tangent that you don't agree with, anytime you can state your opinion, which may conflict with someone else's opinion, anytime you can choose to serve when it's not convenient, right? So the thing about showing up with your values is to know what you value in the first place, right? We talk about that quite a bit. What do you value? What's important to you in life? What kind of life do you want to live? Based on what? Equal rights. Love and kindness. Free choice. Integrity and creativity. Yeah, those are values. Those are things that we honor, that we strive to fulfill for ourselves, to make sure we're fair, to make sure that we are listening well, that we are offering people opportunities and not discounting or excluding someone, wanting to live from a place of love and kindness and compassion, wanting to bring light to whatever we do, right? So I'll tell you my opportunity to serve, which was very inconvenient, and that was jury duty. So right before I went on vacation for Christmas, I got a jury duty summons. And let's just say that when I got it, I didn't say, oh, goody. Now, I sighed. It's not convenient. I had to move 5 appointments and all this stuff once I realized I was going to get picked. I didn't really want to get picked. I mean, I tell myself I'm happy to serve. It's the right thing to do, right? I would want me on a jury. I'm a reasonable person. I can articulate this is good. But all of the swirl around, what if I get selected? How long is it going to take? All this unknown. It's a variable time and commitment, and this emotional response is very swirly, is very conflicted. It's, yes, it's the right thing to do, but oh man, I hope I don't have to. Okay. Now, when I thought about it, because I have a little more control over my thinking than I do over my initial emotional response, I was thinking, well, I would want me on a jury. It is an opportunity to serve. I say that I value democracy. This is a big part of democracy. I probably should step up. And whatever it is, I can deal. I have tools. I have a spiritual practice. I have a support system. I can do this. So the actual experience of it was, what they do is you get your little juror badge, has a number on it, and they call roll, but they call roll by the number. So you don't know anybody's name, whatever. Well, the numbers are read off every time we gather in the same order. And I'm way at the bottom of the list. So the part of me that says it would be nice if I didn't have to do this right now. I was the second to the last picked. So we went through all these people and all these questions, and 2 more jurors were excused. Everybody else was seated. They called up 2 more, and I was one of those. So I was an alternate juror. Okay, for one night. The next day we came in, juror number 7. I don't know what she said or how she did it, but she was gone, and I became juror number 7. So now I'm in the middle of a trial, or starting a trial. And the trial is a murder trial. Now, I was selected at the very end of that particular day, so we only had about an hour in the courtroom, seated as a jury, and opening arguments were done. So the prosecution said, it's this kind of a trial, this is what we're going to prove to you. The defense said, this is why we think there's reasonable doubt and what reasonable doubt means, and and then they let us go. So I'm taking deep breaths all the way home. And I woke up the next morning in a total anxiety attack. I was like swirling around. Just, am I going to be traumatized? Is this going to be gory? Am I going to be able to stay present? Can I be trusted to judge someone else? I mean, all of this stuff. So I called for help. I called my prayer partner and said, this is what's happening, and got back to a place of remembering that wherever I am in my life, principle still holds. The foundation I have built in the way that I think, in the way that I see things, in the way that I see people hasn't changed. So let's see what happens. So this became an exercise in staying present, reminding myself of grace, which for me means that Spirit is always at work, even in this room with these people telling these stories. I'm here to bring light, and I don't have to catastrophize. I don't have to go off in my mind about the worst way this could go. And I was also called upon to recognize and release bias. Because honestly, murder is not a part of my world. And so when I see it happening or know about it happening, it's always out there somewhere. And as soon as it's out there, I feel free to judge. Well, you should do this and you shouldn't have done that, and why do you live there, and why are these your friends? They're not good friends. I mean, I have all kinds of opinions. Not my job, not my place, ever, but especially in a courtroom. So, we hear all the evidence. Nobody's talking to each other because we've been instructed we do not discuss the case until we get into the jury room, which is good in one way and difficult in another, because what stays inside and doesn't get expressed tends to get all stirred up and start bubbling. So I did a lot of extra spiritual practice that week, actually 2 weeks. We get to the jury room, and I can't help myself. So we all sit down. We're all looking at each other instead of with our backs to each other, right, for the first time. And I said, okay, everybody take a deep breath. And everybody kind of laughed and took a deep breath. And that made me foreman. Because, I can't help myself. I work in a spiritual community. We only do consensus. And what is a jury but coming to consensus? So I offered, and they were all so excited, and I told them they were way too excited. Because before, when the question was asked, nobody said anything. Crickets. Who wants to be foreman? It's like, okay, I'll do it. So I tell you this because if we really tell ourselves we really believe that we're in our right place at our right time, no matter where we find ourselves, this is sometimes what it looks like. I did not want to be there, per se. But I also wanted to be present to where I was. And that's a shift in thinking. That's a different way of being in the room. And so here's this room full of people, 12 people, different races, multiple genders, not just two, ages, the age from 20 to 70, I would say, all different ethnic backgrounds, all different perspectives in life. And that to me was the greatest gift of all, because what ended up happening as we discussed, as we answered each other's questions, as we went back to the evidence, as we watched the video a million times, what became clear is that from all these different angles, we were coming to a belief, a visual of what happened. And it wasn't completely straightforward, but you know how if you those of you that watch sports and they do the replay and they show you to you from every angle, right? And then finally there's a camera angle where you go, oh, it didn't happen. Or, oh, it did happen. That's what we were looking at from a human perspective example of the questions, the notes, the care, the step-by-step, the conscientious attention every person in that room had paid in the trial and was paying in the jury room. We were very careful to address every question, every hesitation, every request to see the video again, to slow it down, to speed it up, to have testimony read back to us. We wanted to be as sure as we could possibly be. We also approached with compassion. When there's an incident and multiple witnesses, everybody tells the story of what happened from their own perspective and their own desire to protect the ones they love. People lied on the stand all day long. Testimony conflicted. From the initial interviews that were recorded with what they were saying today, it was a couple years later, so some of it's memory, but some of it is just a desire to do the best for the people you love that you can. And we knew that. So there was no judgment around that. It was just understanding, okay, it makes sense that she would say that then, and now she says this now, and this is why, because we can see what's happening. We came to a group decision. It was not even a question of whether anybody had any doubts left over. We did not. The first time around the table, we agreed on a guilty verdict. And then we had to wait for everybody to come back into court. So that was about an hour and a half in a room. We lasted about a half an hour before we all started looking at our phones. But we didn't question the process. I didn't question anyone's integrity. We didn't have to think that we ourselves were responsible for someone else's sentencing, because we weren't. It was a group decision. It was an awareness and an openness and a willingness to be honest, to say you had a question when you did, to raise a doubt, to be willing to say, no, I don't think so, when everybody else said okay. And so I walked away from this whole experience exhausted, but very much aware of what I value and very much aware of what it looks like when people come together as their most conscious selves, as their most deliberate decision-making, as their most desire to do and be good in the world. Those values of love and service and community and justice and accountability were all on display. And from day one of the summons until we finished, I have to tell you, most of the time I was uncomfortable. I would prefer not to be uncomfortable. I would prefer to be on my couch, watching a game with my girl and my dog and maybe a snack. But to show up in the world as a whole person, even when it's uncomfortable, is where we really find out if we are living our spiritual truth, if we are demonstrating what it is we say we built our foundation on. And I think we're all called to do that. We're all called to show up as love, and this is what love looks like. So you take honesty, like, this is truly my opinion, I'm not letting everybody else sway me. Honesty plus compassion minus bias, because we all have bias. Take that extra judgment out of it. And what ends up is being able to understand people, how something might have happened, how in 2 minutes a crowd of people in a parking lot can end up with somebody on the ground. It happens. Being able to trust myself and the people in the room to be honest and not just to make nice or keep the peace. That's liberating. That is liberating. If you have ever held your tongue at a family dinner table to keep from inciting a riot with your cranky uncle, there's a time and place for that. I'll give you that. But the truth is, we do better when we speak up. when I approach something difficult with a sense of curiosity, when I listen to all sides with a desire to be fair, when I'm willing to remember that every single person deserves respect wherever they are in their life, in their spiritual development, whether I believe it's high or low, they deserve respect. They deserve my honesty. They deserve my attention. I can pause and listen, and we're all the better for it. That's how we put our ideals in action. That's how we allow ourselves to live the values that we claim. They only count, so to speak, if we make them visible. It only counts to be idealistic if you make every effort in small and large ways to live those ideals. So this week, you're invited to practice living your truth outside your comfort zone. I know you can do it in your comfort zone. What about outside your comfort zone? Pause and ask yourself, where am I being invited to show up more fully? Maybe it's an honest conversation. Maybe it's a gesture of generosity. Maybe it's a moment of kindness, even if it feels inconvenient. Trust that your truth is not fragile. It is meant to be lived. So you're being encouraged to take a small, brave step into visibility this week. Say something when you might have been silent otherwise. Because you need to know that every single act of courage, no matter the size or scope, ripples outward. And that is what shapes the world that we live in. This is how we create a world that works for everyone, by showing up as our best self. And I want to finish with the words of Carrie Newcomer once again. That's not the right picture. There we go. There are times that ask us to be courageously clear, fierce with love, and do what we each can do. I want to encourage us all once again, in moments that feel overwhelming, to hold on to our deepest, most beautiful values and live according to those ideals. There is no gift too small, no act of love too small. Every time we lean into the light and out of the shadows, we are holding hands with a wide community of goodness. We are part of a movement for positive change. We are not alone. We are many, and we are great with love. Namaste. So taking a moment, I invite you to close your eyes and breathe. Breathe into that soft place in your heart. This heart space which holds love, regardless of what is going on around us. Breathing in and breathing out. Knowing that the love that we are is expressed out into the world based on how we are conscious of it. And so I speak a word that each and every one of us might know ourselves to be a beacon of light, a heartbeat of love, an activity of kindness and compassion. For I know that the truth of us are all of these things, and the greatest of these is love. And so in love, as love, we are all blessed by each other, by the actions that we take, by the honesty with which we express our thinking. That in and as love, we are the healers of the world, one heart at a time, one act of kindness at a time, one moment of eye contact, of smiling, one gesture of feeding a neighbor, offering a ride, listening. For it is in this connection, heart to heart, that we realize our greatest power, our power to change not only our lives, but to change the world. And for this I am grateful. Grateful for a teaching which gives us the tools, grateful for the hearts which desire only to love and be loved, grateful for the ways in which the universe shows us how we might move forward. I release this word into law. I know that the universal mind, this consciousness of oneness, is already expressing love through and as each one of us, and it is good and very good, and so it is. I invite you to say our affirmation, which you'll find in your program. I invite you to repeat after me. I live my truth. What I value is visible in all that I do. I am courageous. And so it is. I'll just remind you that the word courage comes from the French coeur, which means heart. So when you live from your heart, you can't help but be brave. All right, let's invite Janelle back up.
My strap in the cord is twisty, kind of like life. Wow. So all week I couldn't stabilize what song I should do. I had a lot of things in the way with kids and schedules to really sit down and think about it, but it was in my head. And I had a realization as I took one last look at myself before I walked out the door. And I noticed the ball of my nose, and I went, Grandpa. So I had this thing that I was born with or something, a habit, where I identified all the parts of, well, not all the parts, but the parts of people's features, hands, that they got from relatives, right? So my hands are from like 5 different relatives, and my fingers, they're like they each have a person that they came from. It's not, just one. It's a shared reality. But anyway, I used to think, I memorize these things on everyone. And then when I see their family, I go, oh, in my head. And I used to talk to my sisters about it all the time. And now that we're adults, which has been a long time, my sister's like, can you just stop? Can you stop? I don't care where my thumbs came from. But anyway, so I see my nose and I went, oh, this is why I'm a songwriter. Because I can't draw. So I thought if I could draw, I could be a police sketch artist, right? But I couldn't draw. So I thought, what is the use of this ability? And I went, oh, songwriting. So this week, I saw this woman at the bank. She had a really hard time walking. And I've been paying attention to people's walking for all of my life and how they walk. But I've most recently been combining that, or making a metaphor out of that, is how their life walk is. And that when we meet them, we never know what brought them to that moment of meeting them, or friendship, or whatever. Or they're, even if they're treating us what we would call negative, we don't know what brought them there. It may have nothing to do with us. And to just meet them in that moment, however they show up, and making that a practice. So I've been thinking about that, and moments, and judging, and we're the jury, and just all of that. And how when we show up in that moment, we own it. And that's the only thing we really own, is this moment. So I was trying to put all that in a song, and it just didn't work. So I started going through all my archives, And I have 4 songs I'm making a medley out of that I just kind of, this morning, I went to sleep last night. I'm like, I'm not staying up all night figuring this out. So I just went to sleep and woke up this morning, and here we go. So everything you said was everything. I was blah, 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 blah. So here we are. Sorry about that. That's just me, I guess. I'm not analyzing your noses now, just so you know. I kind of got off the train when my sister scolded me. And she's younger, so. I saw a for sale sign on the corner. For sale by owner. It said as is, as is, as is. You gotta take me as is. I ain't got no money for to fix it up. Foundations leaking, bricks went belly up. This rundown place raised all my kids. Sometimes the obvious isn't obvious as is. So I'm breathing in the as-is of life. I can only fix one thing at a time. As time and energy permits, that's about the size of it. We can fix a lot if we don't quit. Taking it as is, right where we are. As is, right where we are. And what if we're right on time, right where we're supposed to be in this moment? And what if we didn't have to second guess, and we could make this the best? What if? And what if all the delays and detours fit the plan and the cure? What if? And what if every single stop and start was gifting us a stronger heart? What if? I've only got one step to walk in this moment. I've only got one dream to dream right here, right now. I've only got one bridge to cross, one mountain to climb, one valley to roll in this moment. I've only one moment, one chance for this moment, and I own it. I only got one moment, and as long as I own it, I have arrived in this moment. I've arrived in this moment, yes, I own it, this moment.
Ooh. What if every stop and start is gifting us a stronger heart? Thank you for that, Janelle. All right, let's invite our ushers to come forward and remind ourselves that when we share, we're saying to the universe that we have enough to share, that we are enough, that we know that when we give, we also receive, and that this exchange is ongoing. This flow of life, this flow of abundance is always present, always sourced, always here for and as us. And so as we take our contribution this morning, whether it is time, talent, or treasure, hold it in your mind, in your heart, and say with me our prosperity affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you. All right, a couple things happening. First of all, thank you to the Dixons, Kelly Dixons, for our flowers. They are not here this week. Sometimes Kelly's health challenges keep her at home, but she gave us flowers this morning, which is just lovely. Reminder that Wednesday night meditations at 6:30 on Zoom with practitioner Nisa Burrows. If you have questions on that or want to find out more about it, talk to her after service. We have an interest sheet in the back for Foundations class. If you would like to take a class that teaches you more and helps to apply what we talk about on Sunday to your own lives, Foundations is a great way to do it. We haven't set dates yet. It'll depend on who signs up, who might be interested. So keep that in mind and put your name on the list if you think you might be nudged along to take a class. And this coming, next Wednesday, the 18th. Where are we? The 8th. Not this Wednesday. The next Wednesday is our prayer and share circle, which is our interfaith coming together in conversation and sharing prayers of support for whatever is going on in your life, whatever's going on in the world. It's a great way to connect with people. The 21st, so the following Saturday, we have Reiki Share here in the chapel. Like a little Reiki healing energy. Sue's the one you want to talk to, or Mickey. Happy to have you. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we have this thing coming up on the 22nd after service. It's called our annual meeting. There will be food. There will be voting for new board members. We have a couple people that are interested in joining our board. So we'll hear from them, and we'll offer gratitude to those whose terms are up and are stepping off the board. We'll tell you what's going on, all the wonderful things we've done this year, we'll just remind you, and then talk about all the wonderful things we have in mind for next year, and take your ideas as well. So that's Sunday, February 22nd at 12 o'clock next door in Holmes Hall, right after service. And your vote counts. If you are a member, you're invited to vote for board members. Even if you're not a member, we welcome your input. You're obviously here. You kind of think this is your spiritual home, so please come to the meeting. All right. This is our second Sunday, which means we are going to offer a call to prayer. And I want to just give you a quick little reminder about how call to prayer works. Whether you've ever talked to a practitioner before or not, this is a great way to do a little test drive or to simply get a little boost for yourself. And the way this works is our practitioners and ministers will come up front. And if you are so moved to come up to one of them and ask for prayer for something. Now, here's the key. Not the whole story. You know the whole story. But what we want to know is, how do you want to feel? I'm feeling really overwhelmed at work. I need a sense of peace and balance in my life. And the practitioner will do a prayer for you for peace and balance. So know what it is you're looking for. Know what your heart is calling for. Bring that up front. Let us take a moment with you and know that for you in prayer. And for those of you that are not coming forward, that's fine. Just enjoy the energy. Let the music wash over you. Take a moment and pause. We will pause our feed. We'll say goodbye to our friends online. And I invite our practitioners to please come forward. And if we have some lovely music, and we'll just have you spread out here and invite you to come up. Yeah, you can make one more room. Have a privacy. And taking a moment to acknowledge all of the prayers left unspoken, whatever that heart's desire may be, whether it was asked for, prayed for, or not. That the Spirit always knows the heart, that a call for healing, a call for wholeness, a call for peace is always answered. And so I speak a word for that wholeness, that it may show up in everyone's life, specific to them, just as it is needed, in time and on time, for that is the nature of life, to give to itself to each and every one of us. And for this we are grateful, we are blessed, and so it is. Thank you all. I invite you to stand, move to the sides of the rooms. Excuse me, yes? Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Now will you stand up and move to the sides of the rooms and sing? And then we'll go have coffee.
Take a look at the person next to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. Every walk of life, every walk of life, every freedom of love, freedom of love, we should be united.
Jeff, thanks for